Okay, so Samir is looking to use Raven to execute the trade, just to get in the trade immediately, but wants to manually manage his profit targets and stop losses. So he's just looking for a little example of doing that. So let's pull up Raven. All right, and we'll load our BloodHound template for today. There we go. All right, I don't have any logic templates this time. So just something very simple, just one solver. So there's no logic templates to set, right? I didn't make one. And so I'm going to just submit a market order. So that means we just leave this limit orders, just leave that defaults, and that'll submit a market order. I'm going to start Raven trading right away here. And I'll turn backtest mode off because we don't need that. And so Samir just wants Raven to throw some orders out there, throw them kind of way out there here, and then manually manage them. So I'll just set 25 ticks and 25 ticks. That's pretty wide, I guess, depending on what instrument you're trading. That could be pretty wide. And then the last step is to set enable to true. All right, so the only key here is really just to set yourself a wide enough profit and stop loss out there. And I'll hit OK, get this going. And let's see. Let me I'm going to change to a different instrument. I think the YM's a little more volatile. So hopefully I can get some signals going here. And of course we don't want a 5-minute. Let's do something like a 4 range. And that ought to generate a lot of signals here. So, all right, now, of course, the key to these demos is always hoping that price is going to work with me and generate a signal here. Let's see, so if price can close up, then that'll generate a long signal for us. Just going to stretch this out a little bit. And while we're waiting on that, let's see. I'm going to read the question again while we're waiting on that. Okay, come on, one more tick. Actually, I guess while we're waiting on that. Oh, there we go. Cool. And I'm running the old version of, I'm running an older version here. So one of the cool things that we updated Raven so that the flags will now scale the chart for you. So that's one of the improvements that we did with Blackbird, and of course that improvement to the flags will trickle down to Raven. So if you're running the latest beta, these trade flags will scale the chart automatically for you now. Okay, but anyways, right, so there we go. So we got some flags on here on the chart, and now you can just go in here and manually adjust your profit targets to whatever you want, and that's that. So once you have some flags on the chart, you're free to move them around as often as you want here. So I guess I'll just kind of reiterate that with a strategy, in other words, aka Raven, you can't add to your position. So strategies are, the strategy class, right? A NinjaTrader strategy, they're not designed. Strategies were originally designed to be just, fully automated. So you can't go in there and add contracts and remove contracts. That kind of goes against the initial design or the thought of the whole strategy class, right? So, and Raven being as basic as it is, yeah, you won't be able to add any positions to Raven. But of course, if you wanted to, you could have a second YM chart open. Let's see, let's pull up another YM chart here. So I could have a second chart, and if I wanted to, I could have Chart Trader turned on, and there you go. You can see my flags there, and I could trade manually over here on this chart, and that won't affect Raven, so that's way, so if you wanted to add positions to Raven, you really can't do it to Raven per se, but you could trade over here on the side, and of course you could be running the same BloodHound template, so I could pull up the same, I could load up the same BloodHound template and create another 4-range chart like so, and there we go, and I would be seeing the same exact BloodHound signals on this other one, and just kind of do my, do my discretionary trading on this chart, and then on the other chart with Raven, there you go. Let's see. Okay, so Sam was asking if we move the flags from one chart, do they change on the other chart? And I believe so. Yep, there we go. I've never tried that. Yeah, so there we go. It does appear to work. So, really what we're doing is these flags is we're hooking into NinjaTrader's flags. So, the behavior of these flags, being able to move them on one chart and have them adjusting on another chart, really that's all the internal framework that NinjaTrader has built for this flag system here. So that's all we've done is we've hooked into NinjaTrader's little code that puts these flags up, so that the fact that even though Raven executed the trade on this chart and the flags are originally on this chart over here, the fact that they show up on another chart, that's all because of how NinjaTrader has built this flag code, I should say, or software for the flag. So yeah, one thing I'll notice here is for some reason on this chart my stop is not red, right? It's kind of a soft blue, I'm guessing. It's kind of like between a blue and a green, soft blue. Yeah, so once again, it's just how these the flag software works. So okay, so Samir's got some other questions about, or more of a comment about, I guess if you take BloodHound off of the second chart and then adjust the flags around, let's see, Samir, I'm not quite understanding what you're saying is going to happen. Something's reverting back to the original BloodHound chart, but I guess let's test this out. Yeah, so I don't know what the expected behavior is because once again, these flags, the software for this flags is all, built into NinjaTrader's framework. So really, NinjaTrader would be the only ones who could answer exactly what's, how these flags are going to behave across from one chart to another. Yeah, it is what it is. And let's see. So we need to wait for another bar to close. All right, I'll throw that way down there. And hopefully another bar will close. Okay, I'm going to put a little dot right there. And that'll track the current bar for me and give me a chance to kind of look at the question board here again. Okay, so we have a new bar, and the flags didn't move, and I took BloodHound off. So Samir, I'm not sure what you're suggesting was supposed to happen, but I hope you're witnessing what just happened there. I hope that kind of answers your questions. I mean, it looks like wherever I'm moving the flags, they're locked in. Both flags are synchronized exactly across multiple charts, and it doesn't seem to be any difference happening whenever a new bar builds. Which is kind of like some, I guess, suggestions on doing file management and also chart template management. Right, so earlier I brought up the chart templates here. So if I go to load a chart template, you'll see I've got all of these chart templates from nearly all of the workshops. Let's see. Yeah, going all the way back to 2013. So I don't have all of the workshop chart templates on this machine, but going back to 2013, so every week, right, I save a new chart template because every week I will end up with different indicators on my charts. But more importantly, right, every week I save a different BloodHound template. Let me stretch this out here. All right. So you'll see up on top of the chart, there's two BloodHound buttons. So the orange button, that's from Raven. All right, so the orange button, that is BloodHound running inside of Raven. And the black button, well, that is BloodHound as an indicator. So once again, right, so I have BloodHound on here. This is BloodHound as an indicator, and that's the black button. And on the bottom, down here, this is Raven. So you can see on the side it says Raven. And so the orange BloodHound button, that is coming through Raven on the bottom here. So, all right, so what I was mentioning here is that every week, right, I save a new BloodHound template, and I just go by the date and just change the date here. So that's kind of the file system that I use for these workshops. And of course, you can do the same thing. If you're building a system and you're constantly making adjustments and alterations, of course, you can definitely do the same thing and just kind of come up with a naming convention that you like to use. And if we go into the NinjaTrader 7 folder here, and we'll go into templates, and then inside of templates, you'll see BloodHound and the chart templates. So there's the BloodHound templates, and there's the chart templates. And you can go in here and see all the BloodHound systems that you've built. Right? So you can notice here that older files here have a XML extension, and yeah, that's really older files have XML, and newer ones have a BHT extension. So if you want to, if you like keeping detailed file management, you can just go in here and change the extension on the file to BHD if you'd like to do that. So BloodHound doesn't care if you have BHD or XML, doesn't make a difference. But, and then, all right, so that's the BloodHound templates. And of course, if you go into chart, then this is NinjaTrader's chart templates. I think you see all these workshop templates. So, all right, so the reason why I create these chart templates is just for a matter of convenience, right? So that way, when you guys download, the BloodHound templates to go with the, the videos up on YouTube, well, you can also download the chart template and basically restore the exact same chart that you're seeing in the video. So that's the purpose of these chart templates. So I can go in here and I can restore last week's workshop chart just by going to load. As long as you've downloaded the chart template. So there's last week's chart template for last week's workshop. Just click OK. And there we go. And it restored all the indicators that were used in last week's chart template, or in last week's workshop, sorry. All right, Bruce, I hope that does it for you. Oh, looks like I got some follow-up questions from Samir. So let's see, the question is, can you have a BHT extension with both, say, a 15-minute bar type and a tick bar type without crashing Ninja? Oh, okay. No, I guess, no, I don't think Samir's actually talking about the extension. I think Samir's saying, can you have a BloodHound template with both, say, 15-minute bar type and tick bar type? Oh, absolutely. You can mix and match time frames to your heart's content. So, yeah, let's get back to BloodHound. So let me shut down Raven here. Turn Raven off properly. So I think the best way I suggest that you turn Raven off is use the flatten everything, and of course that turns all of your strategies off. But it's a good way to turn your strategies off, shut them down. And all right, let's get back into BloodHound here. So Samir is asking, basically, is it okay to mix and match time frames here? And let's see, what else can I do? All right, so there you go. You can see an example there. So what I've just built, right, is I built a secondary 10-minute chart, secondary 5 Renko chart, and a secondary 8 range chart. And I just, just took that inflection solver and just put it on each one of those. Just to kind of demonstrate that you're free to mix and match all you want, and it doesn't matter. NinjaTrader doesn't care. And there you go. So you get kind of a weird output, but basically what BloodHound's doing is it's just kind of adding all those different solvers, those 5 different solvers, just kind of adding them together and taking an average. So let's pull up BloodHound again here so we can compare side to side. All right, so I got the same price inflection solver on all these time frames here. And remember, so I'm not working with a logic template, so all of these are getting combined together using a ratio node. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 solvers. So each solver is worth 1/4 or a quarter. And then BloodHound just kind of adds them together. So like, for example, on this bar here, stretch that out. On this bar, what happened was I had 3 solvers where the price inflection, or the bar, basically reversed down. And then I had 1 bar that actually reversed up. And then over here, stretch that down, there we go. Over here, I had 3 time frames where price reversed up. And one of the time frames did nothing, had no reversal. So, and like over here, none of the time frames had any price reversals in the bars. So that's kind of the weird output that I'm getting there. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. So okay, so Samir was asking, how did I wire that? So yes, okay, so I think I just explained that to you, Samir. So I'm not using a logic template yet, right? There's no logic template defined. You see, I can't click on that because I haven't started a new one yet. So I'm only just working on the solver tab here. So when there is no logic template, then what happens is BloodHound takes all of your solvers and it creates it averages all of your solvers together. So in this example, I have 4 solvers. So each solver is worth 1/4, and then it just takes what the solver is doing and it just adds them together and outputs it. Just outputs it to the chart. So like once again, we had 1 solver on this bar. We had 1 solver where price reversed down. So we had one of these price inflection solvers had a short output. Only 1 of them. And the other 3 had no output. So therefore we just got this little tiny short output, right? And then the next bar back, 1 out of these 4 solvers had a long output, and the other 3 solvers had 0 output. So we just got this long output of 1/4. Like over here, we had 1 of the solvers generated a long output, and 1 solver generated a short output, and then 2 of the solvers had no output, and that's what we got here. All right, I hope that makes sense there. All right, so Vlad has 4 BloodHounds. I guess he's saying 4 BloodHound templates, and he combines them together into 1. Okay. So yeah, so Vladimir is asking kind of a general question about, I guess, about speed. I think this question is getting down to speed, you know, and what's better for NinjaTrader. So Vladimir has 4 different BloodHound templates, or 4 different BloodHound systems here. And he's wanting to know, would it be better to combine them all into one, or would it be better to keep them 4 separate and have 4 bloodhounds, 4 different bloodhounds on the chart? Well, as far as speed goes, it probably is faster to have just one bloodhound indicator running versus having 4 bloodhound indicators running. That would be faster to have 4 bloodhounds running. So, but of course, if there's an advantage to having 4 bloodhounds on your chart. Yeah, so there's an advantage of having 4 bloodhounds on your chart, which means you could see all 4 different systems outputting separately, and you can tell which system is outputting its signal. So let's see. Let me load up some BloodHound templates here, just to kind of get an idea. All right, so I've got 4 bloodhounds, all with 4 different bloodhound systems loaded. And all right, there we go. So, so the advantage of having multiple bloodhounds on your chart is that you can clearly see which system is generating a signal, right? Now, of course, if I combine all 4 of these bloodhound systems into one BloodHound template, I'll get signals and it'll run more efficiently and faster, but I won't know, which kind of logic created the trade signal. So if I've got 4 different kind of trade signals in here, different logic for different trade signals. If I combine them all into one BloodHound system, I won't know which trade signal actually generated the actual signal. So, so there's the pros and cons of, doing both. And let's see, Vladimir mentioned that there would be about 8 solvers and 6 time frames. So, 8 solvers, that's really nothing. Even a slow computer should be able to handle 8 solvers, no problem. And as far as time frames go, time frames don't really have any significant impact on NinjaTrader's performance. So, yeah, so really kind of the choice is yours there, Vladimir. Whatever is more convenient for you as a trader, whichever way you like looking at your charts best. Really what trading boils down to is visual convenience, right? Trading is all about visual. It's all visual. And so the key is to set your charts up so that visually you can comprehend what you're seeing on your charts as fast as possible. That's really what trading all comes down to. Right? So if you like 4 different bloodhounds, so you can see your 4 different systems independently that makes sense to you. You know, don't change it. Keep it. Whatever you can visually comprehend the fastest and makes the most sense to you instantly without trying to focus and think on it, that'll make you a better trader. But if you want all your signals in just one BloodHound template, then do that. If that's visually faster for you to comprehend, then do that. So, yeah. Let's see. One thing to note, you notice how there's no BloodHound output anymore. All right, there's no output anymore. And that was because I created a logic template. So as soon as you create your first logic template, then the only way to get an output is to connect something to the result node. Right? So from now on, these solvers from the solver tab will no longer plot. Yeah. So basically now what I have to do is just put all of these solvers here on the logic template. So I'm grabbing the existing solver from each of the time frames. All right, so I've got 4 different time frames on here. And I'm just grabbing a solver from each one. And you can see what time frame the solver is from. You can see the text there on the upper left. Right, so 8 range, 5 Renko, and 10 minutes. And on this solver that has no text up there, that's going to be the default time frame. So, and if I wanted to like recreate that weird output that I had, I would just use the ratio node. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm back to where I was. Let's see, I'll see if I can come up with some other handy tips here. You know, here's something that I think a lot of people don't realize is here. So hopefully you guys are familiar that there is a description. So right, you can put a description of your main system. So right, put a description there. So this would be a description kind of like for the main, you know, for the main template itself. And then in here, when you're on the logic tab, you can see there's another triangle here. Click that, and it opens up another description area. So, and then I can put a more specific description for this logic template. So, right, so something like that. So, and let's see. If you are using BloodHound's fuzzy logic, you can even override the confidence thresholds as well. So normally it's 0.8, but if this logic template needs a higher, you know, a higher or lower threshold level, you can do that. You can set those. So, like you can set a higher threshold for longs versus shorts if need be. All right, that looks like that's it, guys. Well, thanks for joining me, and you know, keep your questions coming. You know, there's no such thing as too simple of a question or too complex of a question. So, yeah, send them on in. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a good weekend, and I hope to see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye, guys.